HOA tyrant tries to auction my family ranch. She picked the wrong fight. Picture this. I roll up my gravel driveway after a month-long work trip, greeted by massive foreclosure signs staked across my 40-acre ranch in Cedar Valley, Oregon. Sheriff's deputies block my path, neighbors film in shock, and there's Helen Carver, Pine Ridge HOA president, clutching a leather folder like she owns my land, directing an auction crew to haul my vintage Chevy pickup onto a flatbed. Diesel fumes mix with my coffee breath as I step out, gravel crunching, the clang of chains on my grandfather's equipment, echoing like a gut punch. What would you do if your family's legacy was being stolen by your HOA? Drop a comment below and tell me where you're watching from. I bet your HOA isn't this wild. My name's Ethan Caldwell, 52, third-generation steward of this land. In 1945, my grandfather bought these 40 acres with logging wages, building the farmhouse by hand, raising cattle, and growing alfalfa. My dad kept it alive. When it passed to me 15 years ago, I vowed to honor their legacy. I'm a crop consultant, advising on soil and rotations across Oregon and beyond. Divorced. No kids. The road suits me, keeping the ranch running. My property sits on the edge of Pine Ridge HOA, a ritzy subdivision from the 90s. My ranch was grandfathered in, here 30 years before there. McMansions. But that didn't stop Helen Carver from waging war. Helen, 58, ran the HOA for 8 years. A former real estate agent stripped of her license for shady deals, she cruised in a silver BMW. Her leather portfolio a weapon, voice syrupy sweet but venomous. 6 months ago, her harassment began, nitpicking my hay bales, trucks, even my roosters. Weekly certified letters demanded I remove commercial equipment from a residential zone, each one a dagger to my family's legacy. Daily $500 fines piled up faster than harvest dust. I fought back with research, digging through county records to confirm my grandfather's agricultural exemption, still valid. Helen claimed it expired on inheritance, pure lies, but hired a slick lawyer to exploit loopholes, bleeding my savings with legal fees. Neighbors split. Mike and Sarah Dawson, here since the 70s, backed me, recalling my grandfather teaching their kids to ride. Newer residents swallowed Helen's property values spiel, fearing my cattle would tank their home's worth. Some bought my eggs privately, but stayed silent at meetings. I didn't blame them. Helen crushed dissenters. Mike got fined for too many garden statues, Sarah for her visible tomato patch. Her 7-member board, her puppets, passed every whim with proxy votes, emergency meetings, new rules, special fees. Then came my break. A month-long Idaho contract for soil analysis. Good money, desperately needed. I arranged for Mike to tend my livestock and left. Unbeknownst to me, Helen was stalking my moves, timing my mail, noting my truck loading. The day after I left, she called an emergency meeting, claiming my abandoned livestock and overgrown fields were a health hazard, with me 1,500 miles away. Her lies went unchallenged. That meeting changed everything. I'd fight to my last breath to save my grandfather's land, but I needed the full picture. Leaving Cedar Valley, alfalfa scent mingled with diesel as I scratched my dog buddy's ears and drove off. 3 days into Idaho, Mike called at 6 a.m., voice shaking. Ethan, Helen's meeting was a setup. With 48 hours, email notice during work hours, only 7 board members, her loyalists, attended, barely hitting quorum. They passed Resolution 23B, a $10,000 lien for landscaping and livestock violations. My phone nearly slipped in the Idaho hotel lot, truck stop coffee turning sour. Mike said Helen used doctored photos, dry-looking troughs, a leaning fence post, claiming my cattle terrorized kids. I called my lawyer, Lucas Reed. Via video from my dim room, fluorescent lights buzzing. Procedural violation, Lucas said, typing fast. Improper notice, no emergency. We'll file an injunction Monday. Lucas uncovered the real plot. Helen's son-in-law, Nathan Brooks, owned Prime Valley Development, which had cold called me to buy my ranch. Helen wasn't just harassing. She wanted my land for profit. Nathan owned 2 adjacent properties. My ranch completed their development parcel. Anonymous flyers appeared in mailboxes. HOA power grab. Ethan's ranch next, listing her meeting's violations. Helen retaliated, fining Mike for lawn art, Sarah for her garden. My allies suffered for me. Legal fees hit $3,000, and staying in Idaho drained more. Helen spread rumors I'd turn the ranch into a party hub. Mud stuck. My travel insurance didn't cover legal crises, and stress coated my mouth like metal. Mike called. Helen was photographing my barns peeling paint, squeaky gates, building a neglect case. This wasn't harassment. It was a campaign to force a sale. She and Nathan wanted my legacy erased for profit. They had money, lawyers, time. I had dwindling savings and a ranch 1,500 miles away. But I had truth and a growing realization. This was a real estate conspiracy. Helen's meeting wasn't just bullying. It was a move to steal my land for luxury homes. I cut my Idaho trip short after Lucas's call. Helen filed with animal control, claiming abandoned livestock. Inspectors coming. I drove 18 hours, gas station coffee burning my gut. Back home, everything was pristine, healthy. Cattle, full troughs. Inspector Randy Kowalski confirmed it, scratching his head. Third complaint this month, Ethan. Odd for a place this tight. Checking cameras, I found tire tracks and a warm cell phone mount on my fence, aimed at my barn like a sniper. Helen was hunting me. I added cameras, hands shaking with rage. Within 2 days, footage showed Helen's BMW circling thrice daily, snapping photos, timing my routines. She formed a neighborhood safety committee with 3 cronies, spreading lies about agricultural accidents and stampeding cattle. Her newsletters reeked of fear like fresh ink. Her meetings, timed during Mike's chemo or Sarah's shifts, excluded dissenters. I dug into her past. Real estate fraud, hidden liens, kickbacks. Her lawyer demanded my business records, claiming my consulting made the ranch commercial. Fees hit $8,000. Clients canceled, spooked by my legal issues. Helen was killing my livelihood. 3 neighbors got violations. Mike's mower was clutter, Sarah's wind chimes, noise pollution. Helen's op-ed in the local paper, When Farms Harm Communities, painted her as a savior, omitting Nathan's plans. My cameras caught her night shoots with professional lighting, staging deterioration. I documented her trespasses, false reports, building a case. This was corporate warfare, not an HOA spat. My grandfather survived the Depression and World War II. Now I faced institutional corruption to steal his legacy. The stakes. Could small landowners resist developers? Could truth beat funded lies? Walking my fence line at night, Helen's circling felt like a vulture's shadow. She'd poisoned my mortgage company, Janet Lee, claiming my property devalued. We're reappraising, Janet said. Below 80% loan to value. We'll call your loan. My coffee mug shattered, hot liquid splashing my boots. 60 days until my rate reset. Linda Chun, my appraiser, found no value drop. AG land was up 12%, but the bank refused a new appraiser. Helen's midnight flash photography made where look like ruin, feeding the bank's doubts. Her BMW's oil stench haunted my nights. She asked my mail carrier about my Montana trip, planning another abandonment claim. Helen's petition got 47 signatures, neighbors avoiding me, Facebook a war zone. But at 2 a.m., coffee-stained records revealed Nathan's Pine Valley LLC planned $1.2 million homes on my land. Emails between Helen and Nathan showed 18 months of plotting. Remove the farm obstacle. Nathan spent $200,000 on plans. Helen guaranteed $50,000, facing bankruptcy if I didn't sell. Fraud, conspiracy, breach of duty. My mortgage faced a $25,000 lien. Bank threatening foreclosure in 30 days. Fees hit $15,000. Anonymous investors offered lowball bids, timed with Helen's attacks. Desperation tasted like stale coffee. I was losing everything to corruption, not nature. In my grandfather's workshop, his tools hung, worn smooth by 70 years. Helen thought she'd crush a farmer. She'd misjudged. My grandfather survived the Dust Bowl and war. His grit ran in me. She'd given me time to document her crimes. I stood, resolved like ice. She'd weaponized bureaucracy. I'd weaponized truth. Lucas called at dawn. We've got the kill shot. At his office, yellowed 1987 HOA covenants showed my ranch excluded from their authority permanently. Helen had no power. The HOA's incorporation was defective, missing agricultural assessments. Every fine, fee, threat was extortion. My legs buckled. Months of terror, all lies she knew were false. Lucas grinned. File fraud charges, dissolve the HOA, class action for fees. Truth, like water, broke any dam. My kitchen became a war room. Lucas, HOA fraud expert Clara Evans, and I planned. Clara, defective incorporation, conspiracy, laundering, a prosecutor's dream. Laughter broke through months of dread. Mike recruited allies during chemo. Sarah rallied night shift workers. 3 board members took Nathan's cash. Clara traced $47,000 in shady fees. Reporter Tessa Brooks linked Pine Ridge to 3 other HOAs, a regional fraud network. We installed cameras, cloud backups, panic buttons. Sarah's phone tree mobilized 50 residents. Phases, lawsuits and media hit, packed HOA meeting, county petition, criminal referral. I practiced calm for Helen's meltdown. Coordinated with police, reassured clients. 3 contracts returned. The diesel hay scent carried a storm's charge. At 2 a.m., I caught Helen burning records, financials, emails, in her fire pit. My camera's rolling. Her emergency meeting to counter false accusations was illegal, panic-driven. She called me unstable, a compound planner, but screenshots, IP traces, and burner phone. Records built my harassment case. Nathan's lawyer tried sealing records, claiming trade secrets. Desperation. Helen's cronies photographed my routines. Mike got threats, Sarah a cracked windshield. Nathan's loan deadline loomed, frantic transfers showing panic. Tessa's probe tied Pine Ridge to 2 council members, a developer consortium. 2 board members quit. Nathan's firm distanced itself. Helen's 6 daily drive-bys showed her unraveling. Flyers now demanded transparency. 3 families challenged fees. My revolution spread. Helen's final play, claiming I'd abandoned my ranch for Montana, filing for auction. I faked the trip, staying at a motel 15 miles away, stale smoke masking my trap. Mike watched my land. Day 1, Helen photographed equipment. Day 2, she cut my irrigation pipes, felony destruction, caught in HD. She offered Mike $5,000 to lie about neglect, recorded by Lucas's wire. Ethan's animals are fine, Mike said, Texas proud. Nathan's crew placed fake, condemned stickers at midnight. County Clerk Betty Larson caught Helen's bribery attempt on camera. Helen filed motions with her own sabotage photos, claiming I'd fled. Her 24-hour notice. Hearing repeated her pattern. I was ready. Courtroom doors felt like rebirth. Helen paled as I walked in, her lawyer stammering. Under fluorescent buzz, I showed videos, bribery, trespass, fraud. Judge Patterson's voice cut sharp, motion denied. Miss Carver, stay for perjury and fraud proceedings. The gavel cracked like thunder. Reporters scribbled, Helen's allies fled. At the HOA meeting, Mike played the bribery tape. Sarah listed 8 families' harassment. 3 board members resigned. Tessa's story, HOA president arrested in fraud scheme, went viral. My bank reversed actions. Nathan's firm collapsed, FBI raided. In my grandfather's workshop, oil and sawdust mixed with justice. His initials, EC, carved in 1945, outlasted Helen's lies. The courthouse was packed. TV cameras like cannons, coffee, and sweat thick. Helen slunk in, BMW gone, in a borrowed Civic, aged by stress. My side, Mike, Sarah, dozens, stood firm. Clara presented, defective incorporation. Conspiracy, bribery videos. Gasps rose as Helen's trespass and sabotage played. Her allies slipped out, chair scraping. Mike's bribery tape stunned. $5,000 to lie. Sarah detailed intimidation. Betty slammed the bribery attempt. On the stand, I felt my grandfather. Helen knew she had no authority, but terrorized us for Nathan's profit. The 1987 covenant dissolved her power. We demand prosecution, I said. Cheers erupted. Helen sobbed, her empire dust. Judge Williams ordered HOA dissolution and criminal referral. Deputies cuffed Helen under blazing sun. Cameras catching her fall. 6 months later, my barn hosted Cedar Valley Property Rights Day. Hay and barbecue smoke mingled as volunteers rebuilt fences, repainted, laughed. $31,000 in legal fees. Recovered from Helen. The HOA dissolved, refunding $180,000 to residents. Nathan's firm bankrupted. His land became a conservation trust. Helen got 18 months for fraud. Nathan, 2 years. Our case fueled 47 FBI prosecutions, saving thousands. Mike and Sarah led 50 volunteers, kids learning farming. Local businesses donated. Adopted my ranch. I started the Cedar Valley Heritage Fund for rural scholarships. 10 acres a community garden. New laws mandated HOA transparency, strengthening property rights. My consulting boomed, media attention bringing contracts. I spoke on rural rights, a documentary planned. Pine Ridge's value rose 12%, integrity drawing businesses, tourists visiting the David versus Goliath ranch. Mike, cancer-free, coordinated volunteers. Sarah ran the garden. Even Helen's ex-allies apologized, joining us. My ranch grew. Heritage cattle, organic crops, AG tourism. In the barn, EC's initials stood proud. Kids learned farming as heritage, not just labor. Tessa texted, another HOA scam in Lane County. Help. I grinned, watching kids chase chickens. Some fights choose you. I'd help others finish theirs. But can you trust institutions blindly? Or does it invite corruption? When does resistance become obsession? Share your HOA horror story below. Your tale could save someone. Comment on justice versus trust in communities. Subscribe for more stories of ordinary folks crushing corrupt systems. Next week, a manager who stole a town spirit. Stay sharp, verify authority, and protect your legacy.